Hello, I'm wbz-tv meteorologist Barry Burbank, and I have your forecast for this Sunday and for the next several days. And we want to focus on Hurricane Jose now because it will play a part in our future coming up this week with some wind and rain, the magnitude of which is still yet to be truly determined, but it doesn't look like we're going to be in for a hurricane. That's for sure, because the winds of 80 miles per hour are in that storm right now, and it certainly is a Cat 1 storm. But it's not going over any area which is favorable for development. Consequently, it looks like there may be slight intensification today, maybe up to max winds of 85 for just for a brief period of time, because it looks fairly impressive here on satellite imagery this morning. But after that, as it continues to head northward, it's going down the slot, as you can see, between the United States, between Cape Hatteras and Bermuda. It's going to go right down the middle here. So that's good news. It's causing certainly some big breakers to crash on the eastern seaboard here, on the coastline of the eastern United States, and also on the beaches of Bermuda. But as it moves to the north, it's still probably going to be a minimal hurricane by 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and then start weakening below hurricane status. So by Wednesday morning, looks to be in a position about like this. Now, there's going to be some curvature taking place. It's not going to be a direct north shot to come right up into New England. Looks like it's going to start turning somewhat. And the precise time when that curvature commences is very important, because if it's later in that beginning, it's certainly going to get closer to us. Right now, the cone of uncertainty now is just barely touching extreme outer Cape Cod. So they call this the cone of uncertainty. There could be some wiggle room in here where the storm track could wiggle this way or that way. Even if it goes on this track, we'll still be in the envelope of some rain and wind. If it tracks a little bit closer, of course, the wind and rain would be a bit more important. So we should be watching the forecast over the next day or two to see how it's all going to shake out, because there are coastal concerns for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with rough seas, high surf, and potential for coastal flooding because of astronomical conditions or for the new moon. The tides are running around 11 feet for high tides during the midday around noon to early afternoon, and from midnight just to the early morning hours about 1 o'clock in the morning for later Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So there'll be several tide cycles with the northeast wind being pretty strong through this period. It looks like it has a chance to really build those seas up pretty good and cause an extra surge. Now, there are also indications from some of the models that the storm is going to come up here, sort of slow down and start to do a loop around here. If that indeed was to verify, then there would be a longer duration event in which the rain up here, at least bands of rain, could spin in here for days beyond Wednesday and Thursday. So here it comes. This is latest imagery showing how it's going to materialize. And the storm is continuing to advance toward the northeast and towards New England. Note Tuesday morning there isn't much going on. There might be a little drizzle, maybe a few little sprinkles. But then the bands of rain should start to whirl in here during Tuesday afternoon and be around here Tuesday evening and into part of Wednesday morning. Beyond that, remains to be seen if the steering currents pick the storm up and take it on out, or actually it may come a little bit closer with this heavy rain into Wednesday morning. And then we'll have to see if it just gets left behind by some of these steering currents up here, or actually it starts wobbling around. That remains to be seen. The worst case scenario right now, if it hangs around a little bit longer, one of the models is going for 4 or 5 inches of rain southeastern Massachusetts to around 3 inches or so in Boston and less to the north. And it's that same model which is producing these wind gusts over the period of 25-mile wind gusts on Tuesday afternoon, so that's not too bad, maybe a little over 40 on the south side of the Cape Tuesday afternoon. And then after that, it ramps up, so Wednesday morning looks to be the highest winds, Wednesday morning into the afternoon, and possible gusts past 50 on the New England south coast, and maybe parts of the east coast as well. So this remains to be seen, but that's just one scenario, which might be one of the worst-case scenarios. We do know the high surf advisory is up for today along the New England south coast, Connecticut coastline, Rhode Island coastline, extending over into Bristol County of Massachusetts, the coastline there, and also Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket, and a high risk of rip currents because of the waves building up to 6 to 8 feet. The waves around 1 to 3 feet at east coastal beaches for today. These are the dew points which are pretty much holding in the mid-60s and really aren't going to fluctuate too much for the afternoon. Right around 64 to 66 through most of this afternoon, and into tonight about the same, and into tomorrow low to mid-60s for the most part. So we consider that moderate humidity. It's not likely to be 65 to 70 for any long period of time. We consider that high humidity. So that's the way the dew points should materialize for the next couple of days. High temperatures today will be all dependent on when this fog is going to be burning off. Yesterday, it looked like it was going to burn off fairly quickly by late morning. Right now, it looks like it's a slow process in eastern sections with a low cloudiness and fog. Some areas in central Massachusetts never had any fog, and they'll start off with nice sunshine, and temperatures will go up around 80 to 83 in parts of Worcester County. It depends right here in Metro West whether we get into that 80 to 83 range or not. Right along the coast, it would not get there. I think the fog and low clouds may be tough to break off very near the coastline this afternoon, while just inland a bit, it will get sunnier. Now tonight it's going to become overcast again, and it looks like we're going to have the fog and some areas of drizzle. And then on Tuesday morning, some light showers should be here. Here's this surge of warmth coming up to the west of us, somewhat cooler air across the northwest for your high temperatures today. There are thunderstorms around the Missouri region this morning, extending up into the Great Lakes. That's not coming our way very fast at all. And this imagery here doesn't even show the low cloudiness and fog. It's an infrared shot, so it's hard to pick out. Meantime, there is Jose. Here is Maria, the newest tropical storm, which is destined to become a hurricane maybe by later today. Lee is out to the east of Maria. Note Lee right in here. This doesn't have much future. There's not going to be much in the way of anything to get that storm organized. It's in an unfavorable area for development. But the atmospheric conditions are very favorable for Maria, and it's going to be moving off to the west-northwest as it is now with 65-mile-per-hour winds. But look what's going to be happening. It's going to be threatening some of the same areas that really got walloped by Irma several days ago. They already have tropical storm watches up from St. Lucia southward and north of St. Lucia up through the rest of the northern Leeward Islands. We do have a hurricane watch up now, as it's going to be moving along and turning into a Cat 3 hurricane as it approaches Puerto Rico. It may have winds of 125 miles an hour sustained with higher gusts. It may go right over Puerto Rico. At least that's the track by the National Hurricane Center currently, and then move near the Dominican Republic and move beyond that and move to the north. So that's going to be a terrible situation down there if they get hard hit once again. And that storm needs to be watched because it may go towards the Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas and possibly hit the southeastern United States. It's too early to say exactly where, but sometime coming up in many days away, though. But for us, we get rain becoming more steadier and heavier on Tuesday afternoon after morning showers and mist. The rain may be heavy at times on Wednesday, with the heaviest rain and strongest winds near and south of the Mass Pike, especially on the New England South Coast and the Cape. Winds down as a little lighter rain and showers Thursday into Friday. Tough call if that storm's going to hang around or it's just going to go out and we end up with nice weather next weekend. You can watch WBZ News today at 6:30 and 11 o'clock. You can also see it at 8 o'clock on my TV 38 for the latest weather and news updates. Have a nice rest of the weekend.